Trench report. What is going on with the real estate market here in the Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee Valley, and the broader real estate market as a whole? Are federal layoffs going to affect the housing market? It's pretty sluggish out there, although we do seem to be picking up a spec as we head into the spring selling season, but there are a few changes in the market this year. I'll fill you in on the details. Hi, I'm Jessica with the Genung team and Real Broker. I am a real estate agent here in the Temecula, Murrieta Valley. Welcome if you are new here and welcome back if you are not. We are going to start by chatting about the broader U.S. housing market, and then we're going to narrow it down to the state and local level. Fun fact, the total value of U.S. homes has more than doubled over the past decade, from $23 trillion in 2014 to $49.7 trillion in 2024. That included a $2.5 trillion gain in the past year. So those that were waiting for a crash at a certain point over these years were doing so to their detriment. I see no crash in sight, but I do see some softening, and we're going to discuss that. Let's check out this Redfin article. U.S. housing market gained $2.5 trillion in value in 2024. In percentage terms, that was up 5.2% year over year, which sounds pretty healthy, but that is actually the slowest growth in a calendar year since 2019 and the second slowest since 2011. This is not a surprise to me because the Fed has been actively trying to cool inflation and therefore the housing market since March of 2022 with the rapid interest rate increases. Prices and interest rates are both creating big barriers to affordability. Mortgage rates for the 30-year fixed conventional loan as of the day that I'm filming this video is 6.74% according to Mortgage News Daily. My preferred lenders could likely do a little bit better than this rate. While this is still restrictive, at least we are back under the 7% range. Let's take a look at the state level and the California Association of Realtors Home Sales Price Report. Mortgage rates have been trending downward in the past 4 weeks since reaching their peak, which should help improve home sales moving forward. However, closed sales will likely remain soft in February and March, particularly since the aftermath of the Los Angeles wildfires will continue to slow market activity in Southern California over the next few months. Even though we are quite near to Los Angeles, only about an hour or hour and a half drive depending on traffic, we have seen no significant change yet due to the wildfires in our housing market. We have not seen a drastic influx of people moving here from LA beyond what we observed before the fires and around the pandemic years too. Not yet anyway. Back to the article, the January statewide median price decreased from December but continued to climb on a year-over-year basis for the 19th straight month. The economists at our association predict that home prices could moderate further in February, but should begin to climb in March as the market gears up for the upcoming spring home buying season. Again, I'll have the local stats from February out to you very shortly in my next video. Here is what was most interesting / troubling for me about this report. The statewide unsold inventory index, UII, which measures the number of months needed to sell the supply of homes on the market at the current sales rate, rose both month over month and year over year. The index was 4.1 months in January, up 2.7 months in December, and up from 3.2 months in January of 2024. Active listings, in fact, grew at the fastest annual rate in 2 years and increased on a month-to-month basis at an unseasonably strong pace. The solid rebound in housing inventory was partly due to the recent slowdown in market activity, but a surge in newly added properties at the start of the year also contributed to the jump in supply. At the start of the new year in January, we saw a huge surge of new listings in our local market. Menifee new listings increased nearly 31%, Murrieta's new listings increased 82%, and Temecula's new listings increased almost 90% month to month. Temecula and Murrieta's new listings essentially doubled in 1 month at a pace that feels more than seasonal for the start of a new calendar year. This unsold inventory index is another name for months of supply, and we go over this market stat every month in my market reports. Increasing months of supply is good news for buyers and makes selling tougher for sellers. I'm thinking this unseasonably strong pace has to do with politics, and we certainly slowed down over election time, but I think we still have buyers in particular distracted by the news, and they are not jumping into the selling season as boldly. Are the federal layoffs going to affect the housing market? Yes, I do think it will have an effect. My neighbor, who was a VA employee, just got laid off and now she's planning on moving. One of my upcoming sellers might have to delay listing her home because she's a federal employee looking to transfer to a different federal job out of state. They are on a hiring freeze, and I'm hearing of other agents losing buyer clients because their buyers lost their employment. I do think all this change is going to create some churn in the housing market, and we don't yet know the extent of job cuts that are going to be happening. As it stands now, we are seeing some mild churn, and if we see some deeper job cuts, that will create more dramatic churn in the housing market. The likely scenario would be less buyers and more sellers. The real estate market is constantly shifting, and the number of transactions has been quite low compared to historical norms, starting around the end of 2022, slowing further in 2023, and even further last year in 2024. Towards the end of 2024, the market was certainly cooling. Prices were declining a bit, nothing major, but a slight decline, and median days on market had been rising for a few months in our area. My next video will be a market report, and that one will contain important information to share with you once the February numbers post. Have we just been in a typical seasonal cycle where things cool in the winter like most years, or is this a shift? My sense is that this cool down is not typical seasonality, and the real estate market continues to cool because of elevated interest rates, political uncertainty, and overall economic softening. We are going to get our next market report video out ASAP, and it will certainly be our next video, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when we push out that video. So what does that mean for home buyers and sellers? Let's start with sellers. The average days on market is increasing across all 3 cities that we analyze, and our number of active listings are increasing as well. New to the market listings are also on the rise. I just had a great conversation with an appraiser at one of my listings. He says listings are sitting longer on the market unless they are in primo condition in top neighborhoods and have top features. The primo listings are still selling very fast and often receiving multiple offers, not 10 to 20 offers like the crazy COVID days, maybe 2 to 3 offers. For the rest of the listings, it's important not to overprice your home, and now is the time to take the extra steps to clean and properly prepare your home for sale. One of my listings that is currently under contract was the one chosen after a buyer toured 11 other homes that weekend. You want yours to stand out because buyers have options these days. What does this market mean for buyers? As I mentioned, you have options and you have more choices to choose from. If the property is not one of those hot primo properties I discussed earlier, you will likely find some motivated sellers that are willing to compromise to get their home sold. I'm receiving way more follow-up from the listing agents of the properties I'm showing my buyer clients, requesting buyer feedback and inquiring if we are going to be submitting an offer. This type of listing agent follow-up happens in sluggish market times and almost never happens when the market is hot. I'm getting these calls and message requests on almost every home I show. New construction home builders are obviously hurting a bit in our area, especially lately. I'm seeing some really good incentives and price reductions from a lot of the builders in our area. I normally see the best incentives near the end of a calendar year when builders are trying to hit annual financial goals. But the incentives lately are far greater than what I saw at the end of last year, and there are many more already built homes, also known as spec homes, or we also call them quick move-in homes. There are some great opportunities for quick move-ins especially. The builder inventory of these quick move-in homes seems to be building as well. No pun intended. With all this in mind, the market does seem to be picking up as we head into the spring selling season. Our number of escrows in our business has been increasing, and our listing pipeline is on the higher side as well. The next trench report in about a month or 2, we will cover how the spring selling season is going or how it went. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you found this information helpful. Stay tuned for our next market report with the stats next week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.